Crystal Palace 1, Liverpool 2. That's how it's finished at Selhurst Park for your 12:30 lunchtime viewing on Saturday afternoon. Harvey Elliott, Liverpool's little diamond, with the match-winning goal, putting Liverpool top of the league. Jesus Christ, that was hard work. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Yes, today we are focusing on Liverpool's 2-1 victory over Crystal Palace. A very, very frustrating day. Even though Liverpool managed to win the game, a very frustrating day for those in red and for all their fans, as well as a frustrating day for Crystal Palace as well, who played pretty well and were doing very well until the 70th, about the 70th minute, where Palace were reduced to 10 men. Jordan Ayew getting sent off for a second bookable offence, and that really opened the door for Liverpool. 75 minutes, something along them lines. Really opened the door for Liverpool, and once again the Reds managed to fight back to win the game 2-1. There were some big saves from Alisson Becker in there. There were some big performances, mainly by the substitutes of Liverpool, once again flexing their strength in depth to win this game. And this is obviously the video where we're going to go through the game and we're going to be talking about it. But before we go any further, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things always forever be greatly appreciated. Get involved in the comments as well. I'm sure I have a lot of interesting thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it. That make for great interesting reading in this video and about this game. So do get involved down there. But without further ado, let's get on with the game. Let's talk about the review of Liverpool winning 2-1 against Crystal Palace and going top of the table. First and foremost, let me just say, that was a lot more difficult than what it should have been. Once again, Liverpool not good, not clinical enough, not quick enough, not sharp enough, not anything enough, apart from being poor enough, to be 1-0 down come like the 75th minute. And it was a poor performance by Liverpool. Once again, 12:30 kickoff on a Saturday lunchtime, away from home. Both of those things never combine to make it a great watch for a Liverpool side. But especially coming into this one against the Palace side, Selhurst Park, sometimes it's a very difficult place to go. I know that their recent form hasn't exactly been great for Palace, but for us, it's never really been one of them games that we can call easy either. We always seem to struggle with these types of fixtures, especially with it being 12:30. Add that to an away kickoff, it's never been great for us. But we managed to get the job done, and that, I say it time and time again, is what I always say about this time of the year. Get the job done by any means necessary, by hook or by crook. Get the job done. And that's what Liverpool managed to do. And that's obviously a great sign that Liverpool can dig deep and do that. But the question always is, how sustainable is it? How much can you take of doing that? Because eventually your luck will run out. And I fear for Liverpool that eventually the luck of this will run out. And sometimes it's not going to be enough to go 1-0 down, to play poor, to rely on a little bit of refereeing luck and a little bit of luck here and there to go in your favour in order for you to win this type of game. Liverpool had 14 shots, I think, overall, something along them lines, and only 2 of them on target. Them 2 being the 2 goals that were scored by Mohamed Salah and Harvey Elliott. Palace were battling hard, and they brought Liverpool down to their level, and they made Liverpool play the game that they wanted to play. They were breaking up attacks. They were breaking up play. They were stopping the game, slowing the pace of the game down with cheap free kicks and things of that nature that Liverpool were buying into. And Liverpool were massively at fault for allowing Palace to play the game that they wanted to play. It was poor from start to finish. No one in a Liverpool shirt could really assert themselves. And we got very fortunate in that first half. Alisson Becker, what a way to announce your return with a phenomenal save in that first half. An absolutely phenomenal save to push the ball onto the post and ultimately claw it out from going into the back of the net. Phenomenal save from Alisson Becker, announcing his return, announcing himself back to being his best. Love that from Alisson, and we'll get on to the save that he made in the dying embers of the game a little later on as well, because he made another phenomenal save. Other than that, though, he didn't really have a lot to do, Alisson, after that save. There was the penalty appeal. It took 5 minutes for the VAR and referee to come to the decision that it wasn't a penalty. And rightfully so. Van Dijk was judged to have bundled over, I think it was Hudson-Edouard, in the penalty area. It was a penalty, but of course what happened is that before that happened, Palace did win the ball back unfairly with a challenge on Endo that was somewhat similar to what Van Dijk did in the penalty area. So the fact that it was like 5 minutes of re-watching the replay time and time again, having the referee go over to the monitor to check, was bizarre to me. Absolutely bizarre. I think the referee should have gone over to the monitor anyway, because that way it cuts out the time it takes for him to go over to the monitor and all of that crap, and then it doesn't have to, he can then make another judgment himself rather than have the VAR do it. But the fact that it took 5 minutes for VAR to once again come to that decision was a joke. But the right decision was made at the end of the day, so I can't complain too much on that. Dreadful though from Liverpool for the rest of the first half, and then the second half hits off. It took them 1 minute 45 seconds for Palace's second penalty appeal. The game was in play for 1 minute and 45 seconds before the VAR decided to call it back. Two things are wrong with this. Number one, 1 minute and 45 seconds. You brought it back from that to then bring it back to the penalty. And I don't want to go on about this anymore, but I have to bring this up. Why couldn't you bring back when Liverpool scored a perfectly legitimate goal against Tottenham, which you miscommunicated as being offside? Why couldn't you bring that back? I hear some people say that it's because the ball went out of play in the Tottenham game. The ball didn't necessarily go out of play in the Palace-Liverpool game, which is why they were allowed to bring that back, whereas they weren't allowed to bring it back for the Liverpool-Tottenham one. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. It was in a neutral position. It wasn't like it was anything major. They should have been allowed to bring it back. Or, alternatively, if you're not allowed to bring it back for the Liverpool-Tottenham one, you can't bring it back for the Liverpool-Crystal Palace one. That's my first argument. But before you say anything, yes, it was a penalty. I agree, it was a penalty. But secondly, if you're taking 1 minute and 45 seconds to determine whether or not it was a penalty or not, how is that clear and obvious? You hide behind these words of clear and obvious all the time. It's a massive grey area that I've said time and time again can be easily exploited by referees and VAR and the like to hide behind and to build cases for why they make such poor decisions. You took 1 minute and 45 seconds to determine whether that Palace penalty was a penalty or not. And then you gave it. I'd forgot what even happened during that time. And my memory is not great as it is, but I still forgot what happened until the replays were shown. But it was the right decision technically. I just don't agree with the way you came about the decision. I don't agree with how long it took for you to get to that decision. And I don't necessarily agree with the inconsistency of you can take it back after that period of time, but you can't take it back after even less period of time to go, hang on a minute, you've called it as offside, but it isn't offside, it's onside. You should bring it back for a goal to Liverpool. Those two things I do not agree with. But at the end of the day, Palace get the penalty. They convert the penalty through Mateta, and rightfully so. Palace are 1-0 up, and at that point, Liverpool should have responded, but they didn't. There was no response from Liverpool. There was a lack of response. There was a lack of urgency. It was very difficult to tell what the Liverpool side were playing for. Before the game, Liverpool could have gone top of the table with a win, and that should have been incentive enough. The win alone should have been incentive enough for Liverpool, but the extra incentive of Liverpool going top of the table, maybe albeit for a few hours until Arsenal play Aston Villa later, but the possibility of then going top of the table, Arsenal facing an extremely tough game against Aston Villa in which they may drop points in, should have been enough for Liverpool to go full throttle in this game and go in hard and get the job done and dusted early as possible. They didn't do that. They conceded the penalty. They conceded from the penalty spot. No response from them until the 70th minute, or 75th minute, should I say, where Jordan Ayew was sent off for a second bookable offence. The commentators were extremely soft on this. The first booking is for him getting in the way of a free kick, being in close proximity with Virgil van Dijk, who was taking the free kick, to block the free kick. Time waste ultimately. He was yellow carded, and I think rightfully so. The second one was for a cynical foul on Harvey Elliott in which he tripped him. A cynical foul to stop a Liverpool breakaway and a counter-attack. A second bookable offence. Soft? Maybe a little. But right call? Absolutely. The only thing I have an issue with is that nobody was really expecting a red card. And the reason is because we've seen so often referees be so lenient when giving second yellow cards for little things like this, that no one was expecting it. No Liverpool player seemed to complain. Nobody in the crowd was seemingly angry, apart from Palace fans after the red card was given. But no one was seemingly expecting the red card. But it changed the game. And I have to somewhat give credit to the referee, because in other games, and again, it shows another level of hypocrisy where you see that referees often go out on these. Howard Webb even himself went on a show with Michael Owen and said referees don't want to have a massive influence in the game to obviously try and keep the game 11v11. He didn't in this case, and it was the right decision, because Ayew should have been sent off for a cynical challenge after already being booked. It was dumb, it was stupid, it was a risk that he took, and it ultimately ended costing him the game, because Palace went on to lose from this point. Just over a minute later, Mohamed Salah's got the ball into the back of the Crystal Palace net, and he's equalised for Liverpool. That moment changed the game, and it was soft, and it was extremely fortunate that it happened in certain cases, and Liverpool's stroke of luck once again continued, because I don't think they were going to get back into the game with it being 11v11. So Palace, hard done by a little bit, but rightfully so in my opinion. I just, again, don't necessarily agree with the consistencies or the way they went about doing it in that manner. But like I say, just over a minute later, Mohamed Salah scores for Liverpool. It's 1-1. Mohamed Salah gets his 150th goal in the Premier League. He gets his 200th goal for Liverpool. A phenomenal achievement. Maybe not the best goal you're ever going to see from him. It obviously took a bit of a huge deflection. It was going to go on target anyway, but it took a big deflection to wrong foot the goalkeeper and to go into the back of the net. But a fantastic goal nonetheless. Brilliant for Mohamed Salah, and an incredible achievement by him. And obviously he breaks a bit of a goal scoring drought, I think, of maybe a couple of games in a Liverpool shirt without actually scoring. So fantastic from Salah's point of view, and he obviously got the ball rolling. And then of course the moment of brilliance, the moment of quality. Other than the two Alisson saves, the real only moment of quality in the entire game in an attacking sense. Harvey Elliott drives forward, smashes the ball into the back of the net. I love it. I love it. Our little diamond, the Liverpool little diamond that is Harvey Elliott. Diamond boy, love it. Harvey Elliott makes it 2-1 to Liverpool, smashes the ball into the back of the net, takes Liverpool to the top of the table. Absolutely phenomenal from Harvey Elliott. And I've got to say, the substitutions really changed the game. Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones. Harvey Elliott is the guy that is fouled by Jordan Ayew to give him the second yellow card. Harvey Elliott, every time he seems to come on this season from the substitute bench, he seems to change the game, and he seems to bring a new dynamic to the game, and there's a bit more composure, and there's a bit more of a fluidity to our game in midfield. And Jones obviously offers a lot of pressing, and is obviously very good at his link-up play. And Joe Gomez especially, in that right-back position, a lot has been made of whether or not we can free up Trent in the middle of the pitch with him moving more centrally and Joe Gomez just filling in at right-back. But today, Gomez was just bombing forward down that right-hand side. I don't know what he had for breakfast this morning, but honestly, let him have more of that. Have him start on that right-back position and have Trent start in the midfield going forward, because Gomez bombing down that right-hand side was causing Crystal Palace all sorts of issues. And I loved every second of it, and fantastic performance from Joe Gomez as well when he came on from the second half. And it says a lot that in 45 minutes he did more than what a lot of them other Liverpool players did to earn himself man of the match. So brilliant performance from him. Harvey Elliott of course changed the game and was the match winner on the day. Absolutely incredible performance by him as well. And then of course the real moment that secured the points for Liverpool. Diaz did have the ball into the back of the net, which was judged to be slightly offside, which again was the right decision. Only slightly offside by Luis Diaz. Very unfortunate for him not to get his goal. But Alisson freaking Becker, my goalkeeper, the best in the world, Alisson Becker, with another phenomenal save. I think the Crystal Palace player was actually judged to be offside. I think the replay did show that the Crystal Palace player was offside from the free kick, I think, if memory serves me correctly. But he wasn't to know that. Obviously, I might have looked at it wrong, or the lines may have been deceiving, or the camera angle may have been deceiving, or whatever the case may be. But Alisson Becker popped up with another phenomenal save, proving once again he's the best in the world, proving once again why he's my goalkeeper, and I love him to death. And he saved Liverpool once again. Liverpool win the game, just in fortuitous and lucky circumstances in some cases. Like I say, to have 14 attempts on goal at least, and only 2 of them on target, it's not great. It was a poor performance. It was a shambolic performance. But Liverpool got the job done by hook or by crook. And I'm going to say it once again. Those are the kind of performances that make champions. I'm never going to completely disregard these kinds of performances and results as being anything short of digging deep, grinding out a result and being miraculous by winning by any means necessary. Because these are the kind of results that build title winners, title contenders, and these are the kind of points that at the end of the season you look back on and you're like, that goal right there was more important than anything else this season, because that goal was the one that set them up on this title winning run. And you know, I still think Liverpool have got a lot of work to do to convince me completely that we're going to win a league title this season, or maybe even be within the title run-in within the last 10 games or so. But I'm starting to get more and more convinced. And look, it's not sustainable, this. I'll say it once again. I take nothing away from these kind of performances, but at the same time, Liverpool have done this time and time again. They played poorly and somehow managed to find a way to win. Now, it sounds good, it sounds great, and there is elements of positivity to take away from that, but you can't keep doing it week in, week out, because eventually you will get found out. Eventually you will, your luck will run out, and eventually it won't be enough in a few of those games. Liverpool have to do better. Liverpool have to be better. Liverpool have to be more on it going forward. I think the only upside is that we don't have a 12:30 kickoff for a while, at least. So that's at least a positive. But we go on. We've got the job done this weekend. It's not entirely great by any stretch of the imagination, but we got the job done. And at this period of the season, that is mainly all that matters. And like I say, we'll be watching the Arsenal-Aston Villa game closely, even more closely in some people's eyes than we were going to before. Man City take on Luton Town tomorrow, of course. Big games coming up in terms of the Premier League, in terms of Champions League and other competitions for these types of teams. It's going to be very interesting to see what December holds. But Liverpool get the job done. It's extremely fortunate. I wasn't entirely convinced by the squad at all. Darwin Núñez, Jesus Christ, dude. Learn what the offside rule is. The only thing you did today was be offside 3 times. You did absolutely nothing today. And I love Darwin Núñez. I cannot question this guy's passion, this guy's mentality, this guy's drive for this club. But I can question his ability and sometimes his performances on the pitch, because today he was dreadful. Like I say, but no one else covered themselves in much glory either. It wasn't a great performance. Tsimikas was poor. Trent wasn't at his best. I thought Kwanzaa had a solid enough game. I know he gave away the penalty, but I thought he had a solid enough game. I thought Van Dijk was okay. Alisson Becker was phenomenal. He was phenomenal. Nothing wrong with his performance at all. He only had 3 things to do in that game. Pull off 2 saves, 2 incredible saves, and obviously pick the ball out the back of his net from the penalty, which is always going to be a bit of a lottery in that one. So, Alisson was fantastic. Harvey Elliott, match winner, absolute little diamond. Salah, equaliser, 200th goal, phenomenal achievement by him. Gomez was solid. Subs were solid. But, like I say, it's not sustainable, and I'm hoping for better in the future in these types of games. But those are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of Liverpool's performance and Liverpool's victory today against Crystal Palace? I will say on Palace's behalf, by the way, unfortunate for them. I know Roy Hodgson was frustrated by the manner of the defeat and the manner in which, obviously, the sending off occurred and everything. But at the end of the day, I think maybe when he looks back at it, as soft as it may be, I think he may see that it was probably the right decision overall to send him off and to obviously capitulate. Well, not to necessarily capitulate in the way that Palace necessarily did, but there you go. There you have it. That's just obviously my 2 cents into it. Like I say, it was hard done by Palace. They played very well. Typically, they played very well. I know they're on a bit of a bad run of form, but typically they come against Liverpool. It's like their cup final. I know I'm being a bit salty here, but it's like their cup final. They played well. Liverpool were not on it at all for the majority of the game, but yet Liverpool still somehow managed to come away with the victory and the 3 points. Like I say, those are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of this game, this result, Liverpool going top of the table, everything else in between? I'd love to know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, in the comment section down below. So do get involved down there. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way out if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new and want to see more content like this. Both things are always and very greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch match reaction. Instant match reaction to Liverpool's 2-1 victory over Crystal Palace. Come on, you Reds! Just play better in the future, please, because I cannot honestly take this, whatever hell has been going on recently. It's absolutely dire. But whatever. Yeah, come on, you Reds. Top of the table, Liverpool. Praying that Aston Villa do something later against Arsenal, but I said in my match preview that I think Arsenal are going to win, so whatever the case may be, maybe. But yeah, Harvey Elliott, match winner. Beautiful, my dude. Beautiful. Yeah, cheers, guys. Thanks for everyone for watching. Thanks for everyone for stopping by. Appreciate it. Like button, subscribe, that usual stuff. Beautiful. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, as always. I'm going to go now and calm down a little bit because I feel like I've rambled on quite a while. Take care. Have a good rest of your Saturday, and I'll see you speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Talk to you again soon. Take care.